Yo, what's going on YouTube, and welcome to Destiny. So today some brand new gameplay footage dropped which showcases the new strike mode, which is kind of like a sort of dungeon crawling mode. You run through, fight through various waves of enemies, you then battle a boss at the end, get loads of awesome loot, and lots of cool stuff like that. But before I get into the details of strike mode, I want to leave you with this cutscene at the start of the video, so enjoy this and I will catch you on the flip side.
The Fallen will continue to claw at the walls of our city unless we strike them down. Beneath the ruins of the Cosmodrome, in the shadow of an old colony ship, we've located the House of Devil's Lair and the High Servitor feeding them their strength. We must destroy this machine god and send their souls screaming back to hell.
Right, so picking up where we left off, just before I get into the meat of strike mode, for those of you that are unfamiliar with Destiny, it is an MMORPG developed by Bungie and published by Activision, set in this vast kind of sci-fi world. Looks really, really awesome. It's coming to Xbox One, PS4, Xbox 360 and PS3. So, up until now we've obviously seen various bits of gameplay, you know, first few things at E3, a few kind of trailers from there on after, and last week they dropped a few sizzle trailers for the 3 different classes, which is Titan, Warlock and Hunter. So if you haven't seen them, then head over to the channel because we've got those there, so you can check them out. They look really awesome, especially the Hunter, he's looking really cool. But yeah, so they have dropped those, but up until now that's kind of all you've seen. But today this footage shows one of the new modes, which is called Strike Mode. Now, Strike Mode is basically a kind of co-op focus mode. Now I know this is an MMORPG, so the whole thing is about kind of working together, but this mode specifically is a co-op focus mode. It takes 3 of you because basically you play as you're the default kind of Destiny crack team or squad or however you want to call it. They're called the Fire Team, and it's typically that's made up of 3 people. Now that obviously suits the format for Destiny because Destiny is all about 3 different classes. So in an ideal world, I imagine you'd run through strike missions with 1 Titan, 1 Hunter, and 1 Warlock. But obviously that could vary, so we'll have to wait and see. For the time being, yeah, three hunters. You run through this mode and you get dropped into these various different locations. They're places you would have encountered throughout the world, you know, ordinarily, but these are kind of instance versions or kind of things like that. You know, you drop in, you run through various waves of enemies that obviously get harder as you go along, and then you get to the end of a dungeon, or sorry, a dungeon. I'm going to kind of call them dungeons because it sort of, you know, going with the whole MMO terminology, that kind of suits the format. But yeah, you get to the end of these kind of areas and you fight a big boss, and then once you defeat the boss you then get loads of loot, and that loot can be then used to upgrade your weapons, upgrade your Guardian being the name of your class, so be that Titan, Warlock or Hunter, you are known as a Guardian. Guardians of the Galaxy, if you will. Anyway, so yeah, you can use it to upgrade your Guardian, use it to upgrade your weapons, so you can get lots more kind of powerful stuff. Go on and obviously take on harder missions, harder strike missions, and then, you know, keep repeating that cycle. But this is a really good way to get lots and lots of good loot, lots of good powerful, you know, powerful stuff. Bungie did say that this is, you know, a really good way to kind of get some really good items. So I imagine some of the harder ones of these may well drop some pretty rare items. You know, who knows? You know, I don't know for certain, but I'm going to speculate. You know, say that some of these might be pretty challenging. Also, it's interesting because although you can only tackle them with 3 people in a kind of sort of dungeon layout, and as I said before, I'd imagine the kind of typical or the best layout would be 1 of each class. That may well vary. You know, there might be some strike missions that are sort of different that suit potentially 3 Titans or 3 Warlocks, or, you know, I mean, obviously it's down to your own skill, so you can obviously take it on with whatever you want. But there might be certain formats that match. You know, I'm again kind of matching this up with sort of MMO terminology, so I'm thinking of, you know, your kind of team setup with a tank and a DPS and a healer and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know whether these 3 classes will fall into those kind of setups, but if they do, then that could be pretty cool. I'm going to kind of align the Titan as a sort of tank because he looks like the kind of heavy soldier class. Then obviously the Warlock is your caster, so I don't know whether he'll be able to provide some sort of support in that respect. And then the Hunter is your kind of stealthy rogue type character, so I'm going to kind of assume they're your DPS. But anyway, yeah, so you're obviously what you're seeing in the background is strike mode in action. So right at the start, after that cinematic, they dropped in at the beginning and they started running through this different area, encountering enemies as you go along. The footage is switching between the 3 different classes, so you can obviously see the 3 classes in action at various different times, and then as you go through, you know, you kind of encounter various different enemies and all that kind of stuff. So lots of sort of cool things going on, and just in general the game's looking awesome. I mean, a few things you're going to want to sort of bear in mind on your kind of radar for sort of coming kind of weeks. Obviously we are just over a week, if only we were a week away. We're just over a month away from E3, so there's going to be lots of cool details coming over the coming weeks, so make sure you stay tuned for that. And obviously shortly after that in summer is the beta kicks off. So it's coming to PS4 first, so if you haven't already pre-ordered it, then make sure you do, because that's how you can get your beta code. But I'm going to get it on both platforms, so Xbox One, PS4, you know where to find me, that kind of thing. But yeah, so beta's coming shortly after that, so that'll be your first chance to get kind of hands-on with it. Bungie did also say that at E3 they're going to be doing the first demo of the kind of competitive multiplayer mode, because obviously, you know, Bungie coming from, you know, Halo roots and whatnot, there's obviously going to be a strong multiplayer competitive component, so I'm really looking forward to seeing that in action. So E3 for that one, so keep it locked, because we'll have plenty of coverage on that. And obviously as and when the beta comes out, we'll have plenty of coverage of the game itself. So that is largely it from me for the time being. Just going to kind of let you watch the last bit of the video out so you can enjoy some gameplay without me rambling over it. But hopefully you at least find this helpful, and hopefully you kind of now know what strike mode is. As always, if you do enjoy the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, hit the like button, and show your support. It does really help me out. Obviously, don't forget to subscribe if you are not already, so you can stay up to date on all of our latest videos, and be sure to stay tuned to the Arekkz Gaming Facebook and Twitter pages for all your updates throughout the week. Lastly, you can add me on various platforms. Arekkz is always the ID, Steam, Xbox, PlayStation, Wii, whatever you want, that's me. And yeah, thanks for watching, enjoy, peace out!
The Lair is up ahead, under that colony ship. Just on the other side of all those devils.
You